Welcome to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Jones. I am a certified personal trainer, and I'm here to help you achieve your fitness goals without pain. In each episode, I'll share tips and strategies that will help you stay safe and pain-free while you're working out. I'll also interview experts in the field of fitness and pain management. So if you're ready to learn how to stay active and pain-free, then subscribe to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast today. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Pain-Free Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Dana Jones, and today I am joined by William Person. Will is a former Team USA Bobsledder whose 9-year career led to life-changing battle with CTE. After hitting rock bottom, he found hope and healing through Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy. Now he's on a mission to protect athletes' brains and open a free CTE Recovery Center for those in need. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you. Actually, this is the first time I realized. I moved my cameras. My chamber is right behind me. That's the baby right there.
Oh, okay.
That's the lifesaver. Yeah, that's the lifesaver.
That's crazy. So tell us a little bit about
Thank you for having me.
What do you got going on?
Well, I'm about to tell you a whole bunch of stuff that there's receipts and fact checks. Just listen to the message, please. And man, I'm just here to save lives. That's really what it is. I was been blessed to be saved. It took a lot of people to do it. It wasn't just myself doing it. And I'm just here to pay it forward. That and no more to it than that.
Yeah. So how do you become a bobsledder?
Well, I was a track and field athlete in college. And when I got done, I was actually working in mental health. As a matter of fact, at one point, I opened a youth treatment facility for, I wrote the first ever independent living transitional housing program for the state of Utah. But they opened me as a pilot program, and that was in probably about 97, 98, something like that. Before that, I was doing, you can see me in like movies like Jerry Maguire. They put these uniforms on me and had me running down the field and make Cuba Gooding Jr. look like he was a athlete. But a lot of times you saw people like me and some of my other friends just, pulling that off for him, just making him shine. That's all. And he actually won an Oscar off of that. I was so shocked. I was so shocked. I thought it was overacting. This shows what I know. That shows what I know. But yeah. I'm sorry, I missed your question. You got me all excited there. I apologize.
No. So how did you get into bobsledding?
Oh, yeah, okay. I just stayed on my path. I was a runner. And because I ran fast, it got me into the movie industry. It sent me to college. And as my track career was ending, I got this random phone call. It was some people calling me about doing a tryout for, they had the 2002 Winter Olympics coming in Salt Lake City. And so they needed athletes. And here, I'm the biggest, fastest athlete in the state of Utah at the time. And so I really didn't want to do it because I remember as a kid, it looked crazy. And I said, what's going to be covered by NBC? So maybe I can just go and pick up a sponsor or something. So I went and I watched all these guys go through the tryout. And what they really did is, I'll try to make it quick for you. They take a treadmill. You get on treadmills like this. They put on the highest elevation. And this was a weird treadmill. It was hooked to a computer. And they punch in 10 miles an hour. And the faster I run on it, the quicker it gets to 10 miles an hour, and they time that. So I watched all the other guys do it, and when it was my turn, I didn't know what I was doing, but I did what I do. I'm a runner. So I ran, and when I got done, this guy's eyes were like huge. And I was like, okay, I did bad or good. I don't know which one. So he puts his arm around me. These hot lights and cameras are on me from NBC. He offers me $50,000 to race on his team for 3 months. I was like, what? Yeah. But like I said, I was a businessman. I owned a treatment facility, so I gave him a business answer. Like, if it's a fair price, sure, I'll do it. But, if not, we can renegotiate later, But I was like, I'll take that 50 grand. Just, go ahead and write that check. And the crazy answer is I realized really quick on that he didn't have any sponsors. His sled was so awful that, even the women was beating us to the bottom of the mountain. We didn't have a chance. He wasn't going to win anything. But by the time I figured that out, I was on a new team and I won a medal within 10 days of starting from the audition or the tryout to the America's Cup race. 10 days later, I won a medal. So NBC ran that story and it was something refreshing and different. And I just rolled with it. And I wound up staying 9 years. So that's how I got tricked. That's the short answer is I got tricked. Yeah.
So when did you become aware of CTE and the term sledhead?
People mentioned the word sledhead before, but mainly we used to say bell rung. I forgot there was other things we used to refer to as punch drunkers and, boxers is punch drunk. The same, all the same stuff. Whenever you're in that sled and you're going down that mountain, it's violent. It's not like a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster times 150. Like one time, I took Cameron Diaz on a bobsled ride, right? I heard she's an adrenaline junkie. I'm sorry, this thing is making a little bit of noise here. I don't want to get to your microphone. Yeah, and so I took her down the track. I picked the driver, I picked the sled. And when she came back out, she was speechless. She couldn't even talk. And that's usually the reaction you get. Most people,
Mhm.
it's like they've seen God, you know? And so most people, if you compare it to a roller coaster, people will say, I had fun. But bobsled is like you fighting for your life the whole time because you're experiencing G forces, which you can't, only place you can experience them is in an F-15 fighter jet or in a bobsled. Like nowhere else. You can't get those same Gs.
So let me ask you a question though, because I've seen the helmets and they're not football helmets. They're not fighter helmets. Like, why? I guess, did they not think that people would crash?
It's not the crashes that's getting us.
What is
There are
it?
some athletes who never crashed. I believe it's the G forces.
Mm.
And then, like, if you ever you ever been to a lake in the morning, early morning is still, like it's smooth, like glass. On race day, that's how the ice is. On most race days. On practice days, it's a little bumpy. So it's equivalent to you shaking a baby syndrome, like the shake a baby syndrome.
Mm.
And so sometimes you get out there sled, man, your hair's just hurting, you just confused, and that's kind of what it is. Matter of fact, it's
Okay.
exactly what it is. Yeah. As a matter of fact, the article came out. They tested the tracks. Well, they tested one track in Canada. There was spikes of 84.5 Gs. The fighter pilots were only pulling around 10 or 12, 15 maybe. Because one time we actually took fighter pilots down the track. And man, that sat with me for so long because on that day, we took them down the track. I did 6 rides that day. They did one and they were rattled. And I was like, there's no way. We only pulling 5 Gs and you guys do more. How could this affect you like that? However, an article just came out last December, written by New York Times. I don't know what the name of it is, but the fighter pilots have the identical issues as the bobsledders, from suicides, Parkinson's, dementia, depression. It's across the board. However, if you go back and look for it right now, it's been scrubbed from the internet. But the guy who wrote it, I reached out to him. He sent me a live copy. So if you ever want to see it, I can confirm what I'm saying. Like these are things that's happening to our military too, and now it's also being covered up.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's been a long thing. I mean, we know about it, or the most talked about is probably the NFL in terms of dealing with it. But me, as a former military person, I know there was a lot of discussion because part of it is technology. A lot of the
Hmm.
injuries, especially because I was around Gulf War, I did not serve in Gulf War, but I was in around that time. And the biggest thing was that people weren't dying anymore. And so as an American
Hmm.
public, we're like, yay, they're not dying, but they're getting blasted. One, you're losing limbs and all the other
Uh,
stuff that's going on. And because of the technology and because of the helmets, normally you would die from an impact or whatever. And now you're living, but
yeah.
they're also dealing with a lot of CTE stuff as a result of all these
Yeah.
concussive blows from the IEDs and everything else. And of course, if you're a tanker or somebody, you're not riding on smooth ground. And so you're rattling around. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously not at the same speed as a bobsled, but there's a lot of things. And plus, the nature of being in the military, you hit your head. And before I spoke to you,
Yes.
I never even thought about it. And there's times that, you know, I landed on my head a lot of times during training and just kind of blew it off, and
Yeah.
but that was what we did when you jumped out of planes. You fall on the ground, and a lot of times you smack your head and you're like, "Okay, I'm good," but you're not, but you just keep moving, and anyway, it creates a lot of situations that I think we never wanna admit when something's wrong, or
Yeah.
that we're forgetting something, or that we have headaches as a result of, or whatever it may be. And again, I think the NFL has helped us, or the lack of, clarity with the NFL has helped us realize we're in a situation where a lot of these athletes, a lot of these soldiers are committing suicide. And I know from, again, from the military point, military suicide has always been an issue, but now the CTE aspect of it is definitely increasing as opposed to other things that were causing veterans
And I
and
really think I
soldiers to
know
go.
why now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really believe I know. Yeah, because um, I've been an athlete from the time I was 11 till I was 36. I won my last U.S. national championship at 36. I turned 37 that summer. Every injury I've ever had, there's a treatment plan. Like you start what they call RICE, which is rest, ice, compression, elevation. That's it.
elevation. There
So
you go.
that's yeah, and then anti-inflammatories or surgery or whatever you might need. Then you start on the healing side of it. You get ice, stem, ultrasound. And then for us, if you pull the muscle, you get to the worst part. We at the Olympic Training Center, they give us this. When the white rag comes out, you know what's happening. They tell you to bite it because now they're going in with the elbow and they're going to dig into that muscle and break the scar tissue up. Okay, well now I just concussed my brain. What did I do to fix that? Absolutely nothing. So what they told us to do, like my worst crash, you guys can find it on my YouTube channel. Um, One Man with a Chamber, go to YouTube channel. But it's like my one of my guys was unconscious. I had vertigo. It was an awful crash. Our treatment was go back to the hotel room and watch each other to make sure you don't go to sleep. Now, who was supposed to watch you? Like, I had vertigo. I couldn't sit up without the room spinning. And he was already unconscious. For all I know, he was sleeping right now. It's just, there was no treatment. There's never been any treatment for concussions. I look at myself and I'm looking at all these other people who had these concussions or these hits to the head, and they're all dealing with the same things now. And it's just because we never addressed the issue. So when I actually found the chamber and I got in it for the first time, I was in that chamber for 1 hour and my life changed. All of a sudden I saw colors. Matter of fact, I thought the salesman was trying to rip me off. That's how bad it was. Because when I came out, I was looking around. I couldn't. It was like everything was in 3D. I was like, whoa, what is this place? I didn't recognize this place. And he came over and he asked me, what's wrong? And my glasses are a little bit tinted because I'm sensitive to the lights. I said, I don't think I need my glasses. He's like, oh, you one of those? I'm like, oh, he's finna deal. Here come the salesman. He's going to get me. But he was right. Some people get like that immediate relief, and some people need like 30 days of treatments. Uh, Man, my life changed after that, and I've
What
been
does
a
the chamber
advocate
do
of
to
this
your
ever
brain?
since.
Sorry.
What it doesn't do anything to the brain. What it does is it makes your body believe it's like minimum of 7 feet underwater, 7 to 9 feet underwater, minimum. And so your blood is like a gas, turns into a gas. And it can get through all the blockages. It can get to all the cells and oxygenates everything. So remember, when you get an injury, blood normally rushes to the area and then it leaves, it protects it. So nothing else can come there. Don't let any fluids come there. Or let the oxygen come there. The blood will come there and the oxygen won't come there. It'll block it. That's what every injury you ever get. So it's doing the same thing to the brain. And we never do anything to remove it. So when I got in that chamber for 1 hour, I was clotted for 15 years. I was literally on the floor begging, praying for death every day. Just God, just come get me. Even though my teammates was killing themselves, like I wanted to go too, but I didn't want to leave that trauma on my family. That's the only reason I probably didn't do it. But yeah, but that machine woke me up, man. And after that, I'm just thinking, like, first of all, I'm thinking Joe Namath because he's the one who put the video out who said it reversed his symptoms. And I thought it was a fluke. I didn't think it was going to work because everything that's out there, I tried. I was looking for everything. But first of all, I had to figure out what it was because I thought it was diabetes. And
Mm.
that's the one tricky thing about this condition. It looks like so many other things that you can never really connect the dots. Yeah, I was arguing with my doctors. I got diabetes. Can you get my insulin? They like, you don't have it. Every year, the same thing. Man, they were right. They were right. And I got the worst case scenario, but at least I found out what it was, and now I figured out a way to address it.
Now, is this something that I know you're bringing some light, you're shedding some light onto the situation now, and you're not the only one. There's plenty of advocates that are out there. But is there a way to see CTE before somebody kills themselves? I mean, I know there was a number of football players that shot themselves in the chest so that their brains could be studied. Is there a
Yeah.
way to see it? Like, can you see it on a CT scan? Is it or it has
No,
to be self-reported?
it won't be self-reported. That's the other thing about this. Athletes can't see it in themselves. People with it won't see it in themselves. Like that guy who shot up the NFL, I don't know how he did it. I'm amazed. Like, I have 4 teammates killed themselves, and an article came out called Sledhead. It actually diagnosed me. And I literally got on the ground and thank God that the symptoms missed me. And the only reason it didn't is because my girlfriend saw the article and circled some stuff and like, here, dummy, look at this. And I went, oh my God. Oof, man, it was that moment, man, where every now and then it catch me, but I knew I was in trouble. I knew this was the end. And yeah, Joe Namath showed up at the right time. That's all I can say. But I wouldn't have taken my life because I just wouldn't have left it. I couldn't have left that trauma for the family, but I would still be laying on that ground.
So, what do you think, um, since this is something that can't be seen and athletes aren't really going out and seeking help for it because they're not really recognizing it in themselves, what do you hope to do in terms of your program and helping athletes and veterans? Like, what are you hoping that your advocacy can do for different organizations? Yeah, we're talking about bobsledding because that affected you, and we're talking about football
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I know, but soccer's having the same issue. I'm sure
They have it
F1
worse.
racing, there's a bunch of different athletes that are experiencing the same kind of thing. So what is the best way that you could see organizations really addressing this issue?
Well, the best way, actually, it is recognizable, but the loved ones, the people around you have to see it. And that's why I'm talking so much. I'm not talking to the athletes. I'm not talking to the people suffering from it. I'm trying to get to the loved ones because they're the heroes, man. Every now and then they get me.
Well, this is your life,
All right, I
and
apologize. Yeah, yeah. I had a lot of heroes saving me, man.
do
That's what
not
this is.
apologize for your stuff. I mean, that's you get to have all the feelings because this is your life, and the spouses and the children are the people who need to hear this information because they're the
Yeah.
ones that are closest. And if you didn't have your girlfriend, you'd probably just still be bopping around thinking that you had
And my
diabetes and that was
dad.
giving you
Yeah.
migraines. So,
Yeah, but also
thank
there
her
wasn't like,
for
oh
go
man,
ahead.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But like I was watching a documentary, Kanye West documentary a few weeks ago. Like when I left college, the first place I worked was this crazy mental health place. It was the first one west of the Mississippi River, so a lot of the extreme behaviors went there. So when I went through my training and stuff, I saw all the behaviors from depression all the way up to people who had lobotomies back then. They were still around. And so that's my background. So I didn't want to go watch this documentary, so I went. My girlfriend wanted to go. She helped save my life, so I had to do what I had to do. I had to go, yeah. So we watched this movie, Kanye West. I watched his behaviors. And I've always said, I don't think that guy is bipolar. I think he's schizophrenic, but not bipolar. And so I'm watching him. He's acting like a person with CTE. That explosiveness, that erratic. Then no, it's fine. Like, and then he said some magic words to me. He said he tried some pills and it made him feel worse. When I figured out what I had and I went to see a right doctor, they prescribed this Zoloft that made my stuff 100 times worse. And I said, I can't take these anymore. And then he said something that blew me away. Well, he didn't say it. I was connecting the dots. He got diagnosed bipolar at 40. Nobody get that diagnosis for schizophrenic or bipolar, schizophrenia or bipolar at 40. They get it at 18, 19, maybe 21. You're not going to make it to 25. You're going to be doing something so bizarre in the streets, they're going to lock you up and evaluate you, put some meds in you. And so when I got home, I put on my little whiteboard I did a little spreadsheet and I documented when I had my first concussion and when my symptoms kicked in. First concussion, 2002. I had some red flags in there, but the worst of it was like 2012. So it was 10 years. So I just did all the math that with mine and it connected to his from when he turned 40, when he got diagnosed. I said, huh. And one thing that I remember he said in one of his songs, he said, because I'm thinking this guy's not an athlete. Why would he get a concussion? Like what? But he had a song that he put out and he talked about he had a car accident and he broke his jaw and was in the back of his mouth.
Mm.
I was like, that dude had misdiagnosis. I'm thinking this is a misdiagnosis because, first of all, nobody gets diagnosed those things at 40. Like since it's a 20-year-old, it's a teenager, 20-year-old. And so when I did the scale, I literally predicted the year he had his car accident. And I said it had to be 2002 or 2000, 2000 or 2002. My girlfriend looked it up, it's 2002 on the button. And that's what this thing is. It looked like a lot of stuff, but I promise you, for anybody who's listening to this, if your loved ones had fallen down, hit their head, I don't care if it's one time, if they hit the head and you seen them seize up, they had that concussion. I'll guarantee you that stuff is in there. It's just, it's like a landmine. It's waiting. It's going to slowly shut you down. Because for me, I had random days of being cloudy, and it eventually slowly turned into random days of clarity. And it was
Mhm.
so slow, I didn't catch it. I just thought it was okay, another one of them days. And, then eventually it was just, so my routine became every day when I woke up, I knew I didn't know what the day really was. I had a little book, I opened it up. Oh, it's Monday. Then I got to figure out what the month is. I said, okay. I always thought it was January or August. It's the same 2 months. I was stuck in a loop. So I'm looking at every morning. I already knew. But also what I learned to do is before I went to bed, I took a thermos of coffee or a bottle of Coca-Cola, two things I never drank in my life. I was an athlete, so I wouldn't get out of the bed till 3 o'clock if I didn't have that. So I was treating my symptoms with stuff. Like I was self-medicating with caffeine.
Right.
And so I had this routine. So every day, wake up, book, okay. Then when I leave my bedroom, I had these whiteboards on my wall, 8 foot whiteboards. And I had compartments. I was like, okay, doctor's appointments, work, dates. Like, I was literally missing dates. I had this thing, like, let's say you tell me today, as I say, today's Monday. And you say, hey, Will, let's go have lunch on Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, sure. To me, Tuesday's like a month away. It's a whole month away. So you call me the next day, hey, I'm here. I was like, what you doing there? But if you had told me, let's have lunch tomorrow, I can get that one. So
Right.
there's a lot of little things that I learned. I stepped in all the potholes. I messed up a lot of friendships, relationships, work stuff. And I was fixing it, had to make things right every time. And when I did it, I created a system. And now I just try to teach people that system. Like my TikTok channel is all about learning how to live with this stuff now. It started out as documented because Joe Namath didn't leave us details. My first videos, first 20 was just me leaving the details of this stuff. Now I help people learn to live with it. So yeah, but this thing is brutal and it's slow and it's progressive. So if your people are struggling, doctors can't figure out what it is, and the pill's not working or whatever, the treatment, it's probably they didn't hit that head somewhere and they just need this little crazy thing back here. 1 hour changed my life, man. And I just can't stop. I'm just great. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. Yeah.
That's
So my
awesome.
goal now is I want to open a place and offer it for free, like no fees to the families. That's why I have a crowdfund out there. Please find it, donate to it. That's
Well,
all we're doing. We're going to be treating.
I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
how do people get in touch with you? And we'll also put a lot of the links in the show notes, but how do we contribute to your fund? How do we get in touch with you?
Well, all of my social media stuff, including my crowdfunding, is one man with a chamber. And I say one man with a chamber because Joe Namath, when he left his stuff, he had a team of doctors. I'm one man with a chamber, sharing my story. I'm not a medical guy. I'm not trying to say it's going to heal your toenails growing out the wrong way, but I'm just telling you how it worked for me. So yeah, one man with a chamber. And that, like I said, it's going to be open to the public. This is not we're going to be really focusing on our military because those are the ones I know had the CTE and the athletes, but don't want to turn anyone away. Yeah. And
Well,
the
well,
money's
thank
just really for buying equipment and getting the building proper. I already have the building ready. I need money with the build out and I need money buying the equipment. It's very expensive. It's so expensive. No one will go get treatment without it because it's too expensive. This thing back here cost me $20,000. Yeah.
well, it's a worthy cause. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.